Thank you very much for joining me on this Friday. I'm meteorologist Brian Shields. Thank you for sharing this channel. I do it for safety. Thank you to taking the time to subscribe. Now, I want to get to this because this will start to steal headlines. I talk about where storms are going. That's what I do on this channel. I'm a forecaster, but I like to tell you where storms are also not going. And this looks like it could develop even potentially into a rare December hurricane, but away from the Caribbean. It is not in the Caribbean. This channel is not about clickbait, but with that said, I try to cover a lot of the islands, even kind of expanding outward from the Caribbean, and I'm watching the Azores. This is a high potential for next week to see a spin up. This is the Central Atlantic. You see France here, Ireland, United Kingdom, Spain, Portugal. There's Morocco. Here are the Azores, Caribbean. We are right down here. So again, a spin up here developing next week. Could be a subtropical system, not quite tropical in nature, but it could become a true tropical storm or a hurricane, a rare December hurricane, a possibility that could eventually impact the Azores. Now look at this. This is Monday, so I'm jumping ahead. I want to show you what's next. Look at this spin right here. That's not even it. That's not what I'm looking at here. I'm keeping an eye on this, but this is a spin right here on Monday. That's not the one I'm watching for development. Here are the Azores. It's this down here that looks like it's going to spin up. And in a second, I'll show you that on the satellite. And by the way, I'm going to take you into that Caribbean forecast as well. But it's this down here that I'm going to be watching very carefully for the Azores. We're going to see this spinning up. And then eventually next week, anywhere from the United Kingdom, Ireland, France, south through Portugal, the potential of a big wind maker. So look at this. Let me take you out in time. This is by mid next week. Now, things could evolve, obviously. This is down the road. I don't take long-term models as something that is definitely going to happen. But you see, again, watching a couple areas here, but it's this one. You see a couple spins over here. These are not tropical in nature. Again, here are the Azores. This is the middle of next week. So let me take you out in time. Watch this with me. And you can see this wrapping up as we get into the middle and end of next week. This is by Friday, and that's what I'm watching. So if this does develop, and it's still an if, again, this would start to impact the Azores as soon as Friday of next week. So a week from now, which is down the road, so it could change a lot, but that's really not too terribly far away. So this is by Friday of next week, and then eventually working its way into the weekend. Timetable still subject to change. It's way down the road, but the potential at least tropical storm conditions for the Azores or hurricane conditions for the Azores next weekend. And then what's ever left of this system, it'll lose tropical characteristics, could push over toward Portugal and Spain and even France at the least as a major wind maker here. So a big situation shaping up in the Central Atlantics. Hurricane conditions will eventually be possible in the Azores if this does develop. And I'll know that soon as we get into early next week. I'll give you the updates as we go forward, and then watching to see how things evolve over a week from now as we get into parts of Europe. So yes, that is a potential watching this. And it's actually this area here that we're going to watch for something eventually spinning up. Here's Bermuda. Also not going to Bermuda. This is going to develop away from Bermuda and then kind of push off. But yeah, rare December hurricane, that is a potential. All right, elsewhere, I'm going to bring it down into the Caribbean in just a second. Now, if that system out there does get a name, the hurricane season's over, but we still use the list of this year all the way until the end of the year. So hurricane season is done. The last storm we had was Nicole, which gave that devastation to parts of at least the high damage to parts of Florida. Owen is the next name on the list. So there could be a subtropical storm Owen, tropical storm Owen, or even eventually Hurricane Owen out in the Atlantic. And I was talking about that in yesterday's video, that sometimes you get that rare spin up out in the Atlantic, and that's what we could have in the month of December. It has been such a weird year, as you well know. All right, Caribbean satellite, not a ton going on right now. There are some showers and storms in spots, so let's look ahead at what's next. So you can pick a spot on the map where you are, and I do watch everyone. I know I can't, there's a lot of territory here. I don't name every island, every location. I do my best to cover it if weather's near you, but I'm watching you. St. Lucia south, better chance of rain and storms today. This is 1 o'clock today. Trinidad and Tobago, as I mentioned, scattered showers and storms that could lead to some more flooding. ABC Islands, not a ton, but then we get over here, Mexico, Cancun, I'll get into that forecast in a second. Belize, Honduras, Nicaragua, better chance of rain, showers, storms possible, scattered about over toward Montego Bay as we get into Jamaica, even the Cayman Islands. Now, as we get into the weekend, this is Saturday, you see the moisture. We just have areas of moisture, nothing organized, but I am watching areas of rain and storms. You see even through the Bahamas, some showers and storms. Belize, Honduras, scattered showers and storms tomorrow afternoon. And then still over toward Trinidad, Tobago, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, chance of rain. And then down the road, as we get into the second half of the weekend, we do have a couple of areas to kind of keep a very close eye on. Belize, we could see some isolated flooding. And then you see that surge of moisture right there. Barbados just to the east. So Guyana and Suriname, a higher chance of rain for the second half of the weekend. Also spotty showers and storms. Virgin Islands, Anguilla, Antigua, and Barbuda, over toward Montserrat, St. Kitts and Nevis, Puerto Rico, Haiti, and the Dominican Republic. And then there's some of that rain over toward Belize and Mexico itself, over toward the Yucatan. Spotty showers and storms possible. The Bahamas, Cuba, and then even that chance of rain on Sunday as we work our way back toward the Cayman Islands. Couple of forecasts for us. 29 degrees Celsius today in Aruba, 84 degrees Fahrenheit. And as I showed you in the model, kind of in between some of the rain, yes, a chance of a shower, but not a ton. Aruba, Curacao, Bonaire, parts of Colombia, Venezuela, a spotty shower or storm possible. Cancun, though, a higher chance of rain from Mexico, the Yucatan, down into Belize. So you see that 60% chance of some rain and storms that will be around. All right, so looking ahead, clearly we have a lot to cover together. Watching the Atlantic closely. Azores in Western Europe should be on alert, should be monitoring this, especially over toward Portugal and Spain, even France, for the potential of a big wind maker. But hurricane conditions, if this spins up, are going to be likely for the Azores. Caribbean, a touch more typical. At least there's nothing organized, but I'm keeping an eye on some areas of flooding. And I'll continue to keep you updated throughout the weekend on this potential of a rare December hurricane. Thank you for being part of this channel. Thank you for sharing it. I hope you have a good day ahead.